The old stories whispered of a forgotten village, a place where time seemed to stand still. A place lost to time and shrouded in shadow, where the past lingered like a ghostly presence. It lay hidden deep within the woods, veiled by an unnatural silence that seemed to swallow all sound. For years, rumors had circulated about the village of Willow Creek, a name that evoked both curiosity and fear. Whispers of strange occurrences and vanished residents sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. Tales of eerie lights flickering in the windows of abandoned houses, and the faint sound of laughter echoing through the empty streets. Few dared to venture into the woods, fearing the mysteries that lay hidden beneath the trees. The dense canopy above seemed to block out the sun, casting the forest floor in perpetual twilight. Those who did spoke of an oppressive atmosphere, a palpable sense of dread that clung to the air. The mist that hung low to the ground seemed to move with a life of its own, wrapping around the trees like a shroud. The forest seemed to hold its breath, guarding the secrets of the village it concealed. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, felt like a whisper of the past trying to break through. But legends have a way of drawing the curious, of beckoning the adventurous to unravel their enigmas. The allure of the unknown, the promise of uncovering hidden truths, was too strong to resist for some. They ventured forth, driven by a mix of fear and fascination, hoping to uncover the secrets that lay buried in the heart of the forest. Willow Creek was not always a ghost village. It was once a place filled with laughter, joy, and the sounds of daily life. Once it was a humble community, nestled in the heart of the woods. The village was surrounded by dense forests, providing a serene and picturesque backdrop. Its inhabitants lived simple lives, their days marked by the rhythms of nature. They farmed the land, tended to their animals, and shared stories by the fireside. Then, without warning, the villagers began to disappear. It started with a few, but soon more and more people were missing. One by one, they vanished into thin air, leaving behind no trace. Their homes were left untouched, as if they had just stepped out for a moment. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and still the disappearances continued. The seasons changed, but the mystery remained unsolved. The once peaceful village became a place of fear and paranoia. The remaining villagers were gripped by an overwhelming sense of dread. No one knew who would be next or what unseen force was snatching them from their homes. The fear was palpable and trust among neighbors began to erode. Soon the village stood empty, its inhabitants lost to the shadows, leaving behind only whispers and legends. The wind carried tales of the vanished, and the once thriving community became a haunting memory.
Drawn by the allure of the unknown, I found myself standing at the edge of the woods. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. An unnatural stillness hung over the forest, broken only by the rustling of leaves beneath my feet. As I ventured deeper, the sunlight began to fade, swallowed by the dense canopy above. The path was overgrown, almost reclaimed by the wilderness. Twisted branches reached out like skeletal fingers, their touch sending shivers down my spine. The deeper I went, the heavier the atmosphere became. The forest seemed to press in on me, whispering secrets in the rustling leaves. The first sign of Willow Creek was a crumbling stone wall, half hidden by vines. As I pushed through the undergrowth, the village revealed itself. It was a haunting tableau, frozen in time. Weathered wooden houses stood silent and empty, their windows like vacant eyes staring out at me. I could almost hear the echoes of laughter carried on the wind, the murmur of conversations long past. Yet an unsettling silence hung over the village, broken only by the creaking of a rusty swing set in the distance. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a silence pregnant with unseen horrors. In the heart of the village, I stumbled upon a small cottage, its door hanging precariously from its hinges. Inside, dust-covered furniture stood as if waiting for its long-gone occupants to return. On a table lay a leather-bound journal, its pages brittle with age. It was the diary of Thomas Ashton, the village schoolmaster.
His entries spoke of strange occurrences, of villagers plagued by nightmares and whispers of shadows moving in the woods. Ashton described a growing fear among the villagers, a sense of dread that permeated their once peaceful lives. His words painted a chilling picture of a community teetering on the brink of an abyss.
Ashton's entries grew more frantic as the disappearances began. He wrote of a ritual, a desperate attempt to appease the entity they believed was responsible for the village's plight. The villagers, driven to the edge by fear, turned to ancient texts, seeking a way to banish the shadows that haunted them.
His final entry, scrawled in a shaky hand, spoke of a veil thinning, of a gateway opening. The villagers, he wrote, believed they could appease the entity, reason with it. But they had underestimated its power, its hunger. Ashton's last words sent a chill down my spine. We were wrong.
Section 7. The Ritual. Following the clues scattered throughout Ashton's journal, I found myself standing in the village square. A large, flat stone lay in the center, etched with strange symbols that mirrored those in Ashton's drawings. It was here, in the heart of Willow Creek, that the villagers had performed their ritual. I could almost see them, their faces illuminated by flickering torches, their voices raised in a desperate chant. But instead of banishing the darkness, they had unwittingly invited it in, tearing open a rift in the fabric of reality. Their desperation had become their undoing. Section 8. The Veil Between Worlds. As I stood there, the air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. It was as if the very atmosphere was alive, pulsating with a rhythm that was both foreign and familiar. The fog swirled around me, creating ghostly shapes that seemed to dance just out of reach. The forest around me seemed to hold its breath, the silence broken only by the pounding of my own heart. Each beat echoed in my ears, a reminder of my own vulnerability in this otherworldly place. The trees stood like silent sentinels, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The symbols on the stone began to glow with an eerie light, casting flickering shadows that danced across the deserted village. These ancient runes, long forgotten by time, seemed to awaken, their glow intensifying with each passing moment. It was as if they were trying to communicate, to tell a story lost to the ages. The veil was thinning, just as Ashton had written. The boundary between our world and the next was becoming more fragile, more permeable. I could almost feel the fabric of reality stretching, straining to hold itself together. The boundary between this world and the next was weakening, and I was caught in the middle. It was a place of transition, a liminal space where the rules of reality no longer applied. I felt a sense of both dread and wonder, knowing that I was standing on the threshold of something extraordinary. A wave of dizziness washed over me, and for a moment I thought I could hear whispers carried on the wind, voices from beyond the veil. They were faint, almost imperceptible, but they filled me with a sense of urgency. These whispers seemed to be calling out to me, beckoning me to step further into the unknown, to uncover the secrets that lay hidden beyond the veil. Section 9. A Haunting Revelation. Then, as quickly as it began, it was over. The light faded, the whispers died down, and the forest fell silent once more. The village of Willow Creek stood as it had for years, a ghost town frozen in time. But I knew the truth now. The villagers hadn't simply vanished. They had been taken, consumed by an entity from beyond our reality. Their desperation, their fear, had opened a door they couldn't close. And now, Willow Creek stood as a haunting reminder of the price of tampering with forces beyond our understanding. Section 10. The village sleeps. As I turned to leave, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. The forest seemed to press in on me, its silence no longer peaceful but predatory. I left the village of Willow Creek behind, its secrets buried beneath layers of time and shadow. The villagers may be gone, but their story serves as a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed. The village sleeps, shrouded in shadow, a silent testament to the darkness that lies just beyond our perception.